6 a.m. here in the west and Perth Airport is buzzing. Over 35,000 West Aussies fly in and fly out to mining sites across this state, and 10,000 people are expected to cast their vote at the airport this election. Now, Labor didn't do very well in 2010. There's currently only 3 Labor members in the lower house. So how's it going to play out this time? Find out. Has the mining tax affected how people are going to vote here in WA?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. I reckon heaps of people will vote Liberal in WA. I don't think Labor will really get a look in.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt, yeah.
How come?
Oh, well, people are just unsure, there's less work because of it.
What are the most important issues for you this election?
Probably the mining tax, carbon tax.
Kevin Rudd has said that the China resources boom is over. He's stated this definitively. Do you think he's correct?
Go look at their birth rates. Do you think it's over? That's where I'm working, there's the 30-year seam, there, of all in all. So still all the iron ore to be mined out,
So what have they done with all these billions then? Where's it gone?
I don't know. Gone over, over east or wherever.
And what about infrastructure? Is that important to you this election?
Oh yeah, massive. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I reckon. Yeah, need a plan. Yeah, way ahead, like Melbourne and Sydney do.
And who do you blame, the state or the federal government?
Probably the federal government.
Do you think that we've taken full advantage of this boom? Do you think
No, absolutely not. The streets should be paved with gold. This government shouldn't have to be building a legacy for itself, and certainly borrowing monies to support that.
So Greg, you describe yourself as a
cashed up bogan.
What is a cashed up bogan?
Somebody with not a lot of sophisticated taste. Somebody who's got access to ready money by working hard, and looked down on by the hoi polloi, those that really are sophisticated and know what they're doing. We all like a certain lifestyle, and mining, the money we get as FIFO workers, provides for that lifestyle. Mine happens to be travel overseas, so it just pays for it. But other people are buying houses, cars, speedboats, whatever. There is also a big feeling here that West Australia doesn't count. And secondly, they're not really interested in politics.
Well, it seems here a lot of their complaints are state government issues, but they're blaming the feds.
Yes, they do. They might actually put in a government thinking that all the state issues are the federal government's responsibility.
So as we heard at the airport, there's a lot of people concerned about infrastructure here in WA, and this traffic is just proof of the fact that despite all the money coming in over the last 10 years, people are just wondering where's it gone and what's it been spent on? Do they believe Tony Abbott when he says he's going to spend $1 billion on infrastructure here in West Australia? Or do they have their suspicions because it has been a coalition government that's been running this state the last few years and hasn't impressed people when it comes to building things?
Makes you wonder what sort of nasty things the coalition could get up to if they get into power.
What about the mining tax? That disaffected a lot of West Aussies.
It did, and I think that was unfortunate because I feel that we have to promote our exports because we're totally reliant on all those sorts of things to bring in the income. I think if we're producing more of the income and we've got such infrastructure shortages, that there should be some feedback to assist us to get where we need to go. And there's a lot of people in Western Australia that aren't in the mining industry that are suffering because of all the cost escalations. It's very difficult. And even when you travel east, like we went to Tasmania on holidays and the lady at the cafe said to us, "Oh, you're from WA, you're rich." And we're not. We're the ones that are still struggling to keep up with everything because other people can afford to pay more and the prices are going up because the market's saying that people will pay that.
Your food costs have just gone up so much.
And what about rent here in Perth?
And the rentals have gone up a lot too. I mean, even just to get a one-bedroom unit is going to cost you, anywhere from $300, $350, $400 a week. Which for your average sort of person who's on a new start allowance, just for example, it's almost impossible to live on that sort of to pay that sort of amount of rent.
What do you reckon? Do you think that would work?
Nothing wrong with that, because everybody's robbing WA anyway. For the minerals, oils, all the resources that WA got. they're taking it anyway. So why not keep what's in your turf here?
The WA Nationals had high hopes for this star recruit of theirs running for the Senate. David Wirapunda is an ex-football star here in West Australia. But despite initial hopes for Wirapunda's election, the Senate race is getting really, really tight. And current analysis shows that that 6th Senate spot for West Australia could actually end up going to the WikiLeaks party at the expense of the Nationals or the Greens. Would the WikiLeaks party vote to repeal the mining tax?
How can we actually say about the mining tax? Look, personally, I want to see a disbursement of a restructure of wealth from the very top. I know what goes on. I've seen the corruption in all its layers.
So that's the party's position?
The party's position is this, that we need to have the public record constructed and consider and examine each piece of legislation standalone on its merits.
Why did you preference David Wirapunda over the Greens?
David Wirapunda is not a chance of being elected. Scott Ludlam, I have a lot of respect for, and I've thrown my vote his way in the past. But now there's a WikiLeaks party. I sent the message out there to all of Australia. You haven't done enough for Aboriginal peoples. David Wirapunda, aside of the fact that he's a good human being, he does an enormous amount of work for Aboriginal peoples.
It's strange here in West Australia. You almost wouldn't know a federal election is on. So I'm heading to Fremantle. It's known as a bit of a hotbed of activism here in WA. It's home to the Green Senator Scott Ludlam, so we'll see how the people feel there about possibly losing his Senate seat to the WikiLeaks party. Are you a fan of Senator Scott Ludlam?
No, I don't vote at all.
No?
No, so...
Not enrolled?
No, I'm not really into voting. But I know of Scott Ludlam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know of him, and I've heard people say really good things about him.
Yeah.
You know, but I've never met him myself, personally.
Would you think about voting for the WikiLeaks party?
But I don't vote.
You don't vote?
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
if I was a voter, I would. But I'm not going to be a voter, so I can't.
No, but do you know who he is? The last he's a senator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a senator? What's the difference between the mayor and a senator?
I do know Scott Ludlam, like of him, but I don't know a lot. I don't know much about any of the politicians, honestly. I've chosen to be almost ignorant. I'm really sorry. That's okay. Do you want to ask someone else here?
It's all right. I've just asked about 30 people in the last half an hour, and if he does lose his seat, it could be because the WikiLeaks party directed preferences away from him. What would you think if a WikiLeaks senator got in instead of Scott Ludlam?
Well, I'm not against WikiLeaks at all, but I think it would be devastating. I think that's really surprises me that they would do that.
And he said he didn't think it would be a danger to the Greens. But in actual fact, irrespective of whether David's a good man or not, he's a national candidate, and they stand for a whole lot of things, or represent a whole lot of things which you would think WikiLeaks doesn't stand for.
Do you think West Australia's become more politically conservative over the years?
Yes, most definitely. I think with money, it makes people conservative. You know?
So you think that's what's happened here in WA?
Possibly, through the mining thing.
It's just crappy.
So it's better just
really
not to pay attention at all?
I don't know. But I just trust them. I read a nice article about Angela Merkel the other day, that she's a really good leader, and I thought to myself, that's what we need.
like Salvation Army, Lantara, and the majority of them take your whole pension and you just get fed and you get a bed, you know, you've got no money to buy a new set of jeans or, you know, a nice pair of sunglasses or something like that.